Hello, hello. I just got a new edition of Junk Orbit in the mail, and I'm very excited to unbox it. But I first want to show you just a little bit of some context. The first edition of Junk Orbit came in this very cool cylindrical container that stood out on a retail shelf and got a lot of positive praise from stores that really liked something that just stood out like this. But we got some comments over the years from players who loved the game but found that the box was a little bit hard to store on their home shelf. It was a cool experiment, and I appreciate that Renegade was trying something a little bit different here. But over the years, we decided, you know what, we should try something a little more traditional for the next edition. So that time is now. This edition does have some improvements to the gameplay, some slight balancing of certain ship powers. There's a new solo mode, of course, but most visibly is that it just comes in a more traditional rectangular box that can fit on your shelf a little bit better. But this contains all of the promo packs and small expansions that have come out over the years for the first edition of Junk Orbit. It's all packed into this one box. So if you already have the original edition, you'll still get something new here with new gameplay, new modes, new expansions, new content. So I hope you dig it. But let's start cracking this open and seeing what's inside. So it'll slip over here. It's packed so tightly. There's so much in here. All right, here we go. Oh, is there a UV coating? Ooh, look at that. There is a UV coating. Wow, look at that ship. Wow. It's on the logo. Cool. Neat. Is it on the... Oh my goodness, it's on the sides as well. Wow, that's really neat. Oh, and it's on the... What? Wow. It's on... You can see it on the little cat. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can quite catch that glint, but oh my goodness, wow. That's so cool. All right. Let's open it up and see what's inside. First off, you get the rule book. We took a lot of pains to make sure that this rule book was updated and clearer. The first rule book was perfectly fine and taught the game very well. But I wanted to expand some of the content and make some of the diagrams a little bit bigger. We changed certain terms to be a little bit simpler. I think one of the major terms that I changed was that initially these interval points between two planets were called transfer points. And I don't know what I was thinking when I called them that. I should have just called them junctions, because having the word points in two different contexts for the game was unnecessarily confusing. I don't think it bothered anybody, but it bothered me, so I just changed this term to junctions instead of transfer points. It was silly, but it was one of the small changes that I made in the wording. This also includes the advanced rules, of course. It includes rules for a solo mode. There's also rules for the new ships and the tourists, and of course a little FAQ in case you need it. You can always ask me questions about how the game plays if you have any. Have a little bit of an ad for some other games from Renegade. Oh, I love this game, Tea Dragon Society. Very fun. Oh boy, punchboard. Wow. There's a lot of punchboard in this game. I won't punch it all out right now, but it's all tiles and planets and stuff, and these look fantastic. They still look as good as they did the day that it was first printed. Wow. Very cool. Really great work from the artists here. And we've got all of the junk tiles. All of these junk tiles are things that are floating around Earth, Moon, and Mars, and you're picking them up and then launching them from your ship, and that's how you move. It's kind of like you're throwing something, and then you have an equal and opposite reaction. And so the heavier the thing is that you throw, which is represented by this number, the farther you go. So if you throw a 7 value junk tile, you move 7 spaces in the opposite direction. And of course, that leaves the junk tile behind 7 spaces away from your original starting location for somebody else to pick up. So it's this balancing act of, okay, I'm gonna throw this thing to move a certain distance, but that runs the risk of leaving it behind for somebody else to pick up and maybe score points off of it by delivering it. We've got the new ship powers, which I'll open up here real quick and just kind of do a quick breeze through. There's a much thicker stack of abilities here. It was pretty thin in the first edition. This is everything that we've released so far. Lunar Cowboy, Necktie Fighter, the Watney, the Nottingham, Interplanet Express, Planetary Defender, the Double Time, the Collector, the Time Booth, Splendor 2331, Homing Beacon, the Mitigator. Some of these were part of promo packs that required you to use dice. We're not using dice in this box, so they had to be slightly revised to take into account some other way of randomizing numbers. We have the Moonsquito, the Jolly Roger, the Hitchhiker, the Shadow Broker, the Puddle Jumper, the Stomp Rat, the Cramazon Drone, the Passing Fancy, and then we have all these tourists that they also want to be picked up and delivered. The difference between tourists and junk is that you cannot launch tourists. You can't just space them out of your ship. But when you do meet their certain conditions, basically they start in these cities that are noted at the top, and then when you meet the conditions that they've requested, then you will complete their mission, I guess. The idea here is that they're tourists, so they want to see something special. So they request that, for example, in this case, Corvin Plasma wants you to have no junk tiles of value 4 or higher in your cargo hold. So as soon as you've satisfied that, then you can score for this tourist. In this case, Diode Ray wants you to have 7 or more junk tiles in your cargo, just in quantity. Fluke Solenoid wants you to start your turn at a moon city, launch junk into an Earth city, and then move to a Mars city. So a little bit tricky there, but it's doable. And all the rest of these tourists have their own special requests as well. And of course, we have a little space cat and space dog. But these are fun to play with and add just a nice little touch to the game. And we have bigger ship meeples, which are very fun. Initially, these were about half the size. I want to make sure these were nice and chunky so that you can still move them around really easily. So we got the little purple guy, got a little yellow one. I'm still impressed that they could drill a hole that tiny into such a small ship. The little orange space shuttle looking one, more of an X-plane really. Thin blue rocket, and kind of the lunar lander. And all these details are so nice and fine, and no damage at all, no chips, no splinters. The paint job is great. Really, really pleased with how these turned out. And they just fit nicely into this little compartment here, which is fantastic. I love that. I love it when there's a nice insert here that can fit all of the components, all these tiles, and there's a lot of them. But it'll be nice and easily stored. Then you can put your little rule book on here. I think it will probably end up saving a couple of the leftover sprues from the punchboard sheets so that this insert can be lifted up a little bit and sit flush against the top lid so that everything is nice and secure. I don't think I'll keep all of them because there was a little bit of extra lift when this was still sealed up, but just a tip for you. Keep some of these old sprues in case you want to make sure your box is secure. So I think that is it. That's the full upgrade from the original edition. I think it's very much improved. The gameplay is still the same. Everything that has been added is a quality of life improvement. So I bid a fond farewell to the tube, to the cylinder. You served us well. It's been an honor to be on the ship with you. But I think from now on, we'll be going with this rectangular box and enjoying it in that way. So, yeah, thanks very much for watching this unboxing, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!